Good morning, everyone. This is Ian Cooper, COO of Skyborne, one of the co-founders, and thank you for attending this Q&A session that we're holding today. So I'd like to open it to all of you for your questions. So starting with Athena, would you like to ask your first question, please?
I wanted to know what is the criteria for RT examinations in your academy?
So the RT requirements is that you have the RT completed prior to commencing training with us in the USA. So you have to have it completed, but when you start the application process, you don't have to have that in hand, but you do need it before you commence the CPL training in the United States. Does that answer your question?
I have to do my RT before coming to the US, right?
Yeah, so we work with several different providers. We work with Albatross based in New Delhi, and you can also source it from any other provider that you choose to. Moving on to Praneeth, could you just introduce yourself, where you're from, and what question you have, please?
As I was still 17, can I still apply for the Indigo Cadet program? So will the Skyborne look into my application?
Yes, the Indigo Cadet program is still open. We're still doing assessments. And actually, we did one this morning in Delhi, ran an assessment. So the ongoing assessments are still live. We're just making use of virtual systems that are out there in place at the moment. So the interview and the assessment that you do is all completed online now, rather than having to go to Delhi in person. So that actually makes it a little bit more flexible. But yes, it's still ongoing, so you can still apply. Thanks for your questions, Praneeth. Let's move on to Anshul. So Anshul, could you just introduce yourself and where you're from, please?
Good morning, Ian. I'm from Mumbai, and I have applied for Indigo Cadet Pilot Program. I'm through the stage 1, which was in New Delhi in March itself. So I've been waiting for the second and third stage. So my question is that will the successive stages take place as per schedule once the pandemic is over? As the aviation industry is one of the hardest hit, will the Cadet Pilot Program run as it was before, or like will it be halted or delayed, or is there any word from Indigo?
Yeah, so well, first of all, congratulations on passing the first stage. That's excellent news. So well done. So yes, the next phase is the assessment phase with Indigo, which includes an interview and a group exercise. So those are all currently on hold at the moment. The airline is still committed to the Indigo Cadet program with Skyborne. The numbers are likely to reduce in the immediate future. They are committed to this program longer term. So it's just a question of waiting really until the whole COVID-19 situation is recovered from and things return to normal, and then the applications will carry on going through and on to the second phase. So you just need to wait, and then we'll keep you communicated as to when that date will be. But that's great news that you've got through the first part. Well done.
Thank you so much.
Moving on to Visham. Do you have your question, please?
Hey Ian, this is Vishwam Pandey. I'm from Bangalore. I had a question regarding the future of aviation. So back in the 1970s, aircrafts like Boeing 747, they required 3 pilots to fly that. And today it takes just 2 to fly a larger aircraft, which is the A380. In how many years do you see that the number of pilots in a larger aircraft can go down from 2 to 1?
Yeah, I think that is a possibility. It all depends on the fidelity of the redundancy and the automation. I never say never, but I can't see that aircraft will become pilotless in the future. But I could see a possible scenario on certain routes and so on where it is reduced to 1 pilot. In terms of the timeline, I mean, that's really hard to say, especially with the current situation we're in. I think the market is going to take a little while to recover. But I do see at some point in the future a potential for single pilot operations. I mean, we already see it in business jets. You can get a multi-million-dollar business jet and fly it single pilot, where most airlines around all airlines around the world operate a multi-crew environment in modern jets. But in the business jet sector, there are some jets of the smaller nature that you can fly single pilot. So that shows it's already starting to happen. But to answer your question in terms of timelines, it's really, really hard to say, because it all comes down to the sort of technology and redundancy and passenger confidence as well.
Yeah, thanks a lot.
Hi, Bhagwant. Would you like to ask your question, please?
So I had the question that due to COVID-19, will it affect the intake of the students or delay the programs?
Yeah, so our last course was due to commence training in America at the beginning of April, but due to the travel restrictions, the course couldn't physically get out there. So they're sitting at home in India, awaiting for the travel restrictions to be lifted to then commence the training in the USA. So we currently have 50 cadets sitting at home in India, awaiting training with Skyborne in the USA. So we're still committed to those courses. The airline is still honouring the LOIs that those cadets have, and they'll all be starting as soon as the travel restrictions are lifted. And we currently have 68 cadets in training in America that are all training. I mean, their actual training is on hold at the moment. It has been for 3 weeks whilst the restrictions are in place there. But as soon as those are lifted, those cadets will recommence flying again, and then on with the rest of their program. So yeah, but it's very much so that if you're in the system and you're just awaiting a training date, they are still all planned to be moving forward as soon as the travel restrictions are lifted.
Yes, sir. Like we are yet to join, so can the selection procedure be taken online?
Yes, so the selection process is still ongoing. So we actually did a selection this morning in Delhi, in our office in Delhi. It's run from there, but all the cadets that were doing the assessment were dialing in remotely. So the first phase is the online CUTE assessment. That's done through a Zoom connection. And then if you're successful at that, you then go into an interview. It's again done remotely through Zoom. And then if you pass phase 1, you're then in a holding pool awaiting the airline to do phase 2 once they get going again.